The multiverse was destroyed. Now all that remains is Battleworld. A massive patchwork planet composed from the fragments of worlds that no longer exist, maintained by the iron will of its god and master, Victor Von Doom. Each region is a domain unto itself. Among these domains is one left decimated by a war between its heroes and villains. In this barren wasteland walks a shadow from the past, a man known as... Our story begins with New Vegas, built on the ruins of the old city and amongst the wreckage of old shield helicarriers. Two men dressed as Daredevil are discussing business over a poker game with their boss, a man going by the name of Gladiator, who wears one of Iron Man's old helmets. They talk about how the entire Hulk gang has just disappeared. Rumor has it that one man took them all out by himself. When Gladiator demands to know who could do this, Logan enters the room and takes credit. He says that Gladiator is stealing and selling children, and it's time for him to stop. When Wolverine taunts the gang members, they attack Logan, and the obvious happens. Pretty soon the entire gang, who are all dressed up as Daredevil, are wiped out, save for one member. Logan asks why he wears Matt Murdock's old outfit, but the criminal doesn't even know the significance of the costume. Frustrated, Logan impales his victim. Some of the young women under Gladiator's captivity ask what they are supposed to do now, but Logan simply says they are free. Wolverine is then shot in the face by a young man who claims to be the son of Gladiator. Logan is sympathetic and assures the kid that he just did the young man a huge favor, but his attacker is hostile and swears he will get revenge on Wolverine one day. The rest of the community is also unmoved by Logan freeing them, as it is clear that none of them remember a time when the world wasn't broken. Realizing this, Wolverine leaves them with one final sentiment. It doesn't have to be like this. He will be back, and if things aren't better, he will burn New Vegas to the ground. Traveling across the desert wasteland, Logan comes across an all-too-familiar head. Ultron's remains are inactive, and there's nothing else of interest in the area. Wolverine takes the head home, where he is greeted by his babysitter, a young woman named Danielle. She says that the baby Hulk is doing well, and he seems to have some affection for Logan. Danny asks about the Ultron head, and Logan says that it's something he's going to have to figure out for himself. Hopefully the Thors already took care of this, as it is unlikely that this Ultron head came from the wasteland. Wolverine leaves to investigate and talk to the only other functioning Ultron model he knows of over in Hammer Falls. He leaves some money and food behind for Danny, who is revealed to be the daughter of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. It does not take long for Logan to get to Hammer Falls, but the mutant is disturbed to find this once busy city is completely empty. He finds the last person alive, and is greeted by a young Jean Grey. But Logan sees through this illusion immediately, and he tells Emma Frost to cut it out. She reveals herself, but Logan says this still isn't the real her. Emma creates illusions of her younger self around others, and insists on continuing to do so. After all, a lady still has her pride, and her aging process isn't slowed down by any healing factor like Logan. Emma explains that she is here because with the Kingpin and the Hulk clan dead, a power vacuum is opening up in the wasteland. But she wasn't the only person interested in this place, and a gang called the Punishers also came to Hammer Falls. They slaughtered everyone, including Tanya and Ultron 8. Whatever answers Logan came here for are long dead. Emma tried to stop them, but her psychic powers aren't what they used to be, and they only wound up serving to throw the gang into a blind fury. Wolverine is still interested in the Ultron head, which both mutants are quite certain came from another domain of Battleworld. Emma says that the other parts of the world on the other side of the walls are not their problem. That's Doom's job, but Logan is still unsettled. He asks for the mutants' help, but it is too late for her. She reveals her true appearance, as that of an elderly woman who was badly wounded by the Punishers. Logan comforts his former teammate and watches her die. He sets out onto the desert wasteland once more. He comes across one of the walls and thinks on what Emma told him. Logan tried to live out the rest of his days in peace once. It didn't take. He begins to scale the wall. Logan emerges on the other side of the wall. He is shocked to find a version of New York City in ruins. But before he can act, the man is stopped by a Thor, who informs Wolverine that what he is doing is forbidden and should be impossible. Logan asks why the woman is dressed like a dead man, but she has only one response. She raises her hammer and lightning comes down on Wolverine, vaporizing half his body in an instant. Logan tumbles down to the other side of the wall, landing in a jungle. He successfully manages to hide from the Thor until she leaves. Logan goes to get some water, only for him to run into a tiger. In spite of his pleas, the great cat attacks Wolverine, who is forced to defend himself. Logan is frustrated, but before he can do anything else, Sabretooth, Horseman of Apocalypse, emerges from the jungle. The old enemies are both furious and confused to see one another, but their battle is interrupted when lightning strikes once again. Logan looks on in shock as the Age of Apocalypse version of the X-Men appear before him. They rescue Wolverine, who they are surprised to see looks like their old ally Weapon X, except much older. Before Wolverine can speak to them, he passes out. Logan wakes up in the Charles Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. He is telepathically informed that he doesn't need to fight and that he's safe here, but Logan is skeptical. Emma Frost reveals herself, and both mutants are baffled to see one another, as Logan just watched Emma die, while Emma is quite certain that she is alive and well. She doesn't understand Logan's memories, but telepathically put him here in the X-Men's old school because she wanted him to be calm, and this place was once a good memory for Wolverine. But Logan's memories make no sense. He remembers things that never happened, like killing the X-Men, and could never happen in this domain, like the Red Skull taking over. She wonders if what she is reading telepathically is the result of some form of insanity, time travel, or cloning, and cannot seem to grasp the idea of other X-Men existing in other domains. Logan is equally baffled, and can't believe that the X-Men who he once killed are all alive and well. He doesn't understand the significance of all of this either. Suddenly, there is a massive explosion, and Apocalypse's horsemen have arrived. Magneto blames Logan for giving away their position, so Eric flings him clear out of their hiding place. Outside, Logan sits in disbelief. This can't be real. How could it be real? But it doesn't matter, for as he looks up, he sees none other than Apocalypse himself. His name is Apocalypse. All you see is his. But the Wolverine who lay before him confuses the Baron. He is wrong, old, different. When Logan doesn't answer to the Baron's inquiries, Apocalypse says it doesn't matter. He'll figure Wolverine out posthumously. But suddenly, the Baron is ordered to stop. The Thor has returned and demands that Wolverine be handed over to her. Apocalypse wants an explanation for all of this, but Thor doesn't feel inclined to give one. So the Baron informs her that Logan ran away from the fight while they were talking. Frustrated, she demands the X-Men tell her which way the fugitive went. But Emma Frost knows that Logan is one of them, even if this one is a little different. She asks what the Thor wants with Wolverine, and in response, the Thor declares Emma to be insubordinate. She attacks the gathered mutants, hitting Apocalypse's men in the process. This is too much for the Baron. He does not care who sent her here. She does not lay hands on his horsemen. He orders his infinites to attack. In the ensuing chaos, Wolverine finds some cover, only to run into another mutant. He recognizes her as Tabitha, codename Boom Boom. Logan asks how things got so bad, but the girl simply says this is how things have always been. But Wolverine remembers better days from a different domain. Logan sets out, telling the girl to stay out of trouble. He moves on, hiding from the Thor as he heads towards another wall. On the way, he is telepathically contacted by Emma Frost, and Logan tells her about Tabitha's location, asking that she help the mutant. When Emma warns him that he's heading in the wrong way, in the opposite direction from his home, Logan says that he needs to keep going until he understands what's going on here. On top of a building, Wolverine ambushes Thor and brutally cuts into her. Furious, she blasts him with lightning and throws him over the wall into another domain. Before she can grab him, an explosion occurs in the domain of Apocalypse, and she leaves to investigate. Logan falls into a new city and everything goes dark yet again. This time, he wakes up to find two men investigating him. They are Baron Tony Stark and James Rhodes, another Thor. Iron Man welcomes Wolverine to Technopolis. War Machine is highly suspicious of Logan, as he knows that Wolverine got into a fight with another Thor before falling over the wall into this domain. But Tony wants to hear the man out. However, Logan is practically speechless at seeing Tony Stark alive and well. When Rhodey starts questioning Wolverine, the mutant gets uncomfortable with the situation and tries to leave, only for Stark to explain how the air isn't safe here, and you need to wear armor to survive. War Machine is not so courteous, and says that Logan can't go anywhere even with armor, as he has committed many crimes. He attacked a Thor and left a domain without permission. At these words, the two men share a moment of tension, though Rhodey can sense something is off. Wolverine says he's come a long way and is tired, trying to excuse his behavior. Tony asks if there's anything he can do, so Logan asks to meet with Doom. Rhodey doesn't see that happening, and that's what Wolverine would say to their god. Logan seems unwilling to state exactly what he wants out of Doom, and instead asks if Tony remembers him. When the Baron answers that he doesn't, and seems to have never even heard of mutants, Logan knows there's no way he's leaving here peacefully. He pops his claws, and as a result, is once again blasted with lightning. As he falls unconscious, he hears Tony ask where Rhodey is taking him. War Machine says that Logan defied God's will, and Baron Stark knows exactly where people like that go. Later, Logan wakes up in the Deadlands. Wolverine doesn't know how long he has been here. There is no sun or moon, no day or night. Has it been hours? Days? His arms were tired a long time ago, and he's well past that now. He passes the time trying to convince himself this is a heroic death. It is not. He tries to tell himself this is a test from God. It isn't. God abandoned Wolverine a long time ago, just like the Deadlands. He flees the zombie horde and finds a cave. It reeks of death here, but at least it will hide him from the undead. Logan knows that he never should have left the wasteland. He never should have abandoned the baby. But the world is wrong. Something has happened. Wolverine knows this, and he can feel it. Maybe he's gone insane. Maybe he never left the desert. Maybe he never even left Weapon X. Perhaps he is dead, and this is hell. Maybe he was never married. Or perhaps Banner killed him. Perhaps he's really alone. Or not at all. Before him stands a She-Hulk, who is alive and well. Logan is shocked, but she isn't aggressive, and the two heroes do recognize each other, even though they have never met. Jennifer is starving and has been in this cave for a very long time. She was sent here by Doom, and can't jump over the wall. It always seems to be miles out of reach. Still, she's happy to have somebody to talk to. Logan wants to escape and plans on climbing the wall, but She-Hulk knows that that will be impossible. So he has a different idea. Perhaps the fastball special will work. But Jennifer doubts it. If she can't jump over the wall, how can she throw a man over it? However, their conversation is interrupted when they are discovered by a zombified Venom. The heroes make short work of him, but it's too late. They are surrounded. What follows is nothing but chaos and rage. As Wolverine is overwhelmed, he again remembers why he never should have left his home. He's then pulled up into the air by She-Hulk, who begins to leap higher and higher. She tries the fastball maneuver and knows that it's going to hurt Logan, but no more than the pain of living here. As she does this, she asks for only one thing. If he sees any Hulks out there, he should be nice to them. Jennifer then hurls Logan up and over the wall while she is pulled back down to the ground by a zombified Sauron. Logan flies through the air and blacks out, shattering several buildings as he lands in a new domain. Eventually, he wakes up with his body healed. All he has to do now is figure out where he landed. As he surveys the city around him, Wolverine sees another version of this city is very close by. New York City, as it was so many years ago, but it doesn't look right. It looks different. Maybe Logan remembers it wrong. That's how old he is. Confusion, aches, and pains. Maybe he's so old he doesn't know where he is. Maybe he's just mumbling to himself somewhere back in Arizona, where this all began, with that damn Ultron head. He thinks back on everything that happened. Everything. The She-Hulk, Tony, the Thor, Apocalypse, and Emma. He screams. Suddenly, an Iron Man helmet crashes beside him. Once again, Logan sees something impossible, as many heroes he has thought long dead are locked in battle above him. Wolverine doesn't understand what is going on here, so he begins to explore. In the streets of the city, he is shocked when Emma Frost and a young Jean Grey approach him. Both parties are surprised to see one another. The telepaths don't understand what's inside his mind, and Logan is suspicious that this is all again just some elaborate trick. With Logan having been dead in their world and Emma Frost gone in his, they are moved to see one another. She asks if she can hug him without being stabbed, and he lets her do so. They embrace, and Jean asks what they should do with him. Emma decides that for all his troubles, they should give Logan what he deserves. They take him to the rest of the X-Men, who look on, shocked, while Wolverine enjoys a meal in silence. The telepaths are certain this is really him, but they are disturbed by his memories. This man was tricked into killing the X-Men of his world, and Logan is still not sure this isn't all some ploy to break his heart once again. Emma then has an idea, and says there is somebody that Logan needs to meet. They go to Xavier's school, and introduce Wolverine to a young man named Jimmy Hudson. Hailing from the Ultimate Universe, this is the son of the Ultimate Wolverine, who died a long time ago. Both are shocked to see the alternate versions of their father and son, respectively. Emma explains that after all Wolverine has been through, it's good for him to know that Logan's legacy and name live on, that he might have liked to see a little bit of life with his name on it. Logan takes his son by the shoulder, and it all hits him. The things and people he's seen, the ones he's watched die, his family long gone. He breaks down into tears. After a moment, he turns his attention to something he just doesn't understand. Jimmy is a son of a Wolverine, not him. Emma explains it seems there was some kind of accident. The mutants find themselves in two places at once, two dimensions poured on top of one another. And Doom is somehow letting this happen. This means the unthinkable is true. Doom is no god, and Logan is walking, talking proof of this. As the mutants begin to leave, in order to give Logan and Jimmy some time together, Wolverine and Emma begin to talk of this telepathically. She thinks a war is coming. Doom is a lie, and her and those who figure this out won't stand for it for very long. Something big is on the way. And when the time comes, Logan needs to be at the front and center of everything. Doom couldn't control or confine this Wolverine. He's proof that everything they have ever known is a lie. Perhaps this was fate. Maybe the universe was training and defining Logan, this Logan, as the man who would save reality when it mattered most. Or maybe it just takes a bastard to beat a bastard. Logan asks what happens after this. What happens when they defy a god? Emma doesn't know, but after all Wolverine has been through, It seems he deserves a second chance. Logan wakes up in an alley. A woman is being mugged. He tries to stop the thieves, but they rebuff him. At least until he pops his claws. They run pretty quickly after that. Wolverine asks where he is, but he quickly recognizes the smell. New York City. Looks like Emma was right. He gets a second chance, after all. Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and this is the complete story of Old Man Logan. Well, I really enjoyed this Secret Wars tie-in. It was great from the get-go, and a good surprise because of that. Brian Michael Bendis did a phenomenal job at continuing Old Man Logan's story, making it worthy of the name while also creating something new and distinct from the original story. Not that the original Old Man Logan was gospel that can't be changed or tainted in any way, but it did have this sort of vivid fun that this Secret Wars tie-in managed to maintain, which is great. I love how they kept the road trip vibe going and how each issue offered something different. I also really like the epic art by Andrea Sorrentino and Bendis' choice to let her tell a good amount of the story without his usual heavy use of dialogue. The only weak spot I can find in the entire series is the ending. While I initially liked the final part of this story, and I still kind of do, a couple of our viewers have pointed out that it is a little flimsy. It relies heavily on the whole destiny idea, and that's the narrative equivalent of pooping on the floor. The idea of Wolverine being the savior of reality is a bit much, and it detracts from his character. I like him better as a dude with a terrible life who's made the best of it, not Marvel's cool version of Jesus. Like, that's really boring and a bit disappointing. But the vivid, epic scale of this story kind of makes up for it. A few dumb lines at the end don't outweigh 5 issues of tight action, gorgeous art, and one of the best Secret Wars tie-ins I have yet to read. I recommend this series and you should check it out for yourself. So thanks for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Be sure to let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.